Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Okay, today we're going to continue with Accounting Information System Lesson 9. Okay, where previously for Lesson 9, we come out with the depreciation schedule using the two method of depreciation being calculated using the built-in system with the Microsoft Excel features. So, your depreciation schedule have been prepared for two method of depreciation, straight line method and reducing or declining balance method. Okay, so this straight line method is denoted by SLN by the Microsoft Excel, and reducing balance method is denoted by DB in Microsoft Excel built-in function. So the schedule of depreciation prepared look like this one, where you have your depreciation expenses for the period comprises of the estimated useful life, and we work out for the accumulated depreciation, and at the end of the day we determine the net book value for each of those years of useful life for that particular asset. So this one, you have a sheet of SLN, a schedule of depreciation calculated using the straight line method, and the DB one is a schedule of depreciation calculated for reducing balance method. So you will notice that depreciation expenses here, okay, slightly different from the one reported under straight line method, because the reducing balance method will give a depreciation expenses which is decline in value, whereas the straight line method, okay, will give a depreciation expenses which is constant or identical for each of those year of estimated useful life. So after we come up with the two schedule here, we're going to create a depreciation graph to illustrate the straight line depreciation and the reducing balance depreciation, the effect or the impact of having an identical figure for all those year and a different figure for all those year of useful life for each asset. So from this schedule, we're going to use a few source of data, okay, to come up with the depreciation graph. Okay, let's go back to our schedule, our worksheet here. Okay, so we're going to continue with creating our depreciation graph. Okay, we're going to start with straight line schedule, where you have your vehicle here with the cost of 120,000 and salvage value of 10,000 for useful life of 8 years. Okay, begin from 2009. So your depreciation will shows a depreciation expenses, okay, and a year of use for that particular asset. So depreciation expenses will be illustrated by vertical axis, and your year of useful life will be illustrated by your horizontal axis. So to start with your depreciation graph, you need to select the cell that give you the depreciation expenses amount. So first, highlight your depreciation expenses for all those years from 2009 until 2016. So you need to highlight B14 until B21. Then after that, go to your toolbar on top of your screen. You will find that there is an insert toolbar. So this insert tab, okay, will give you some icon on graph or chart that you can choose as an option for you to create your depreciation graph. So for our purpose of depreciation graph, okay, we're going to use a line graph. So you're going to use a line graph. So from those button, okay, choose the second option here where you have your insert line chart option and you click. So when you click, there will be two options available for you. So you can have 2D or 3D. So if you have a 2D, so your depreciation will be depicted with the straight line. And if you choose 3D, you will have some 3D presentation for your vertical and horizontal. So for this purpose of ICE 205 syllabus, we're going to use 2D line. So choose 2D line. Okay, so when you start choosing those 2D line chart or graph, okay, automatically your graph will be created based on those data that you have selected just now. So now your depreciation graph appear in front of your schedule. So what you need to do, okay, you need to grab the chart and bring down your chart below to your schedule. So you can have your schedule on top, okay, and you can have your chart at the bottom of your schedule. Okay, so if you go back to your chart here, you can see that you have here your vertical axis that represent your depreciation expenses amount. That's why you will have a straight line here, because you have a depreciation expenses for 8 years of useful life, which is identical with the same value. So your chart here will show that for each of those 8 years of useful life here, you have the same depreciation expenses to be plotted on your vertical scale here. So your depreciation chart here can be formatted, okay, so that it will be more presentable with the chart title and with the vertical axis and horizontal axis label. So for formatting, okay, from your chart here, you go back to your toolbar on top of your screen, then choose select data here. So when you choose select data, the select data source box will appear. So you have an option of editing your legend entries, okay, and editing your horizontal axis label, because it seems that you have a general plot or a general indicator for your horizontal axis where you can be more specific based on the schedule here. Okay, so to change your horizontal axis, okay, now your chart here, okay, your chart here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which depicted the estimated useful life of your vehicle. So your 1, 2, 3 here is actually your years of useful life. So you can have a real years to be placed here for your horizontal axis, okay. Instead of you have 1 here, maybe you want to start with the exactly those year, which is the 2009, and until at the end of the day you should have 2016 here. So to change this horizontal axis, okay, as I mentioned before, okay, you need to click the select data, then choose to edit your horizontal axis label. Okay, click on edit button, then this will give you the axis label range for you to choose from. Okay, so you can read from your table here 2009 until 2016. Then click OK here. Then you will see in your select data source box, your horizontal axis label now have been changed from 1 to 8 until 2009 to 2016. Okay, if you want to change your series label here, okay, let's say you want to give a name for your series label here, you can edit your series label here. So click edit, okay, then you can get source data, okay, for you to name the series. So maybe you would like to name the series as depreciation expenses, so you can read the depreciation expenses from your schedule. So your horizontal reading this source of data, your series will be reading from this depreciation expenses. When you click OK, okay, you will be brought back to the select data source. Then now you can see the series has been changed to depreciation expenses instead of series 1, and your years of depreciation for horizontal axis has been changed to 2009 until 2016. So here depreciation expenses, and here your years. Then if you click OK, okay, you will find that your chart here has shows differently. Instead of previously you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. Now you have 29, the starting of years of use for that particular asset that you bought from your table here. You start using your vehicle here in 2009, so that's why your depreciation here being calculated and plot to graph starting from 2009 until end of your useful life, which is the 8 years duration here. So you just change or editing your horizontal axis. Now let's say we would like to set a few more presentable format for our graph. Okay, what we can do, okay, our depreciation expenses chart title here, okay, can be set, okay, by if you click the depreciation graph here. So under insert tab here, you will find that, okay, you can change, okay, some of your features here. Okay, so if you right click also, you can get the change chart type and your select data option here. Okay, so when you would like to format your axis, okay, your right click of mouse also will give you an option of format your axis. So if you click your format axis here, okay, so you will find that there's a few options for you to format your presentation of your axis here. Maybe the scale of your vertical axis here, instead of you use 2000, 4000 with a gap of 2000 for each of those scale here, maybe you would like to change to another scale value here. Okay, so if you choose your horizontal axis, okay, to be automatically presented, okay, then it will automatically scale by your years here. Okay, and if you want to change, mean you have to tick on axis value, then you will have to set the value here. Okay, so for the layout setting here, okay, when you go to your depreciation graph here, okay, you can have actually your depreciation quick setting here. Okay, so now let's moving to our textbook. So you now has completed the instruction number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where you get your line graph, and you also have select data and editing your horizontal axis here. And now if you want to change your chart layout, what you need to do, you need to go to chart layout, and you have to change the chart layout setting so that you can give the name for your vertical axis here and your horizontal axis here. Okay, as I mentioned before, what we need to do when we want to get the chart layout setting, instead of we look under insert tab, now we need to look at our data tab, design tab, where you have your quick layout, here. So your quick layout here will give you a few options. Okay, will give you a few options of you to set the title of your graph here. So this quick layout can be found under design. Okay, under design tab. Okay, so you click the quick layout button. Okay, so for our purpose of ICE 205, okay, you need to choose layout number 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here you can see the option of your layout. From your original graph, you have an axis title here being inserted, and your axis title here. So this one to represent your vertical axis, and this one to represent your horizontal axis. You can have other option of your axis title to be slot in your graph, okay, based on those layout setting. But for your ICE 205, you need to choose layout number 10. So when you choose layout number 10, okay, you will find that your graph, okay, have been set with axis title here, okay, for your horizontal. So you just need to click on axis title, then type yes, because axis title now representing years of use of your vehicle. Okay, then you can push the enter button, then automatically your years here, okay, being updated to your axis title. Okay, another axis title that you would like to update here is for your vertical axis. So again, what you need to do, point to the axis title, the vertical axis title, then type in depreciation amount. Then maybe in bracket you would like to put the values, or maybe you just leave it as depreciation amount, or you just can set as depreciation expenses. Any name that suit your axis title here. So after you push the enter button, your axis title will change the one that you typed just now. Okay, your chart title here, okay, if you have set here your depreciation here, okay, maybe you would like to give a different name for your chart title. So you can click to chart title, okay, then change the chart title as straight line depreciation. Okay, when you push your enter button or you click anywhere in your graph area, you will find that your chart title has been changed to the new name, the straight line depreciation. Okay, so now you just completed with the graph for straight line schedule. So you're going to use the same technique, okay, for your reducing balance schedule, okay, and get another depreciation graph. So at the end of the day, we can see the difference between the straight line graph and the diminishing balance graph. Okay, so go back to your schedule. Now you need to choose DB sheet. So the DB sheet, okay, will give you a different depreciation expenses amount. Okay, just now SLN sheet give you an identical depreciation amount. The DB, okay, shows a reducing, a declining values of your depreciation. So the first step of depreciation graph is the same as what you have done for your SLN. So the first step would be highlight the depreciation expenses. Okay, so if you have 10 years of depreciation being calculated from your depreciation schedule, so you need to highlight all the 10 years depreciation amount here. Okay, then after that, go back to your toolbar here. So under insert tab, okay, you need to choose those line graph again. Okay, so line graph with the 2D. So for straight line depreciation, we choose this type of 2D. So for reducing balance depreciation, we're going to choose this one, so that for each of those areas that you plot for those years of depreciation, you will have a point here. Okay, so you can see a different style of depreciation graph. So when you click your option of line graph, you can see that your graph has been automatically created with the depreciation expenses that you have highlighted, and those years, okay, 1, 2, 3 until 10. Okay, because for this particular asset, okay, your machine, you have an estimated useful life of 10 years, okay, begin with 2010. So now in our graph here, we have not yet shows the years begin with 2010. So we want to change the horizontal axis again as we did with our straight line depreciation. So before we change the horizontal axis, okay, let's bring the chart at the bottom of your depreciation schedule. Okay, so you can see that, okay, you have your schedule on top here and you have your graph here. You can put your graph next to your schedule here because your graph can be moved anywhere. If you want to move your graph, you have to make sure that you click on the graph area, hold your mouse, then move your graph. Okay, and your graph also can be changed with your intended size. Okay, let's say you want to make your chart here look more smaller than the one has been created here. So what you need to do, okay, place your mouse to the corner of your chart area. Okay, make sure you get this point. Okay, then okay, push your mouse, okay, until you get the plus sign. Sorry, until you get the plus sign. Okay, then you drag. So when you drag, you will find that your chart here is getting smaller. And if you would like to make your chart here getting bigger, you can do the same thing. Okay, now instead of you pull, okay, in, so you need to push out. Okay, do the same process. Okay, then you will find that your graph here is getting bigger. Okay, so to change your horizontal axis here, okay, what we need to do, okay, make sure you click with the chart area so that you can get the select data. Because if you did not click in your chart area here, in your graph area here, let's say you click here, you cannot get the select data button. So to get your select data button, you need to make sure that you on the graph area. So make sure your mouse has clicked the chart area, then you can see the select data button here. So click the select data, then the select data source box will appear for you so that you can decide to change where necessary. So the first part of changes, okay, will be done for horizontal axis label. So you need to click edit, okay, then go back to your depreciation schedule and read those here. So click year 2010 and drag until you read 2019 for the period of 10 years of useful life. Then click OK. Then you will see that your horizontal axis has been changed from 1 to until 10 to 2010 until 2019. And again, if you would like to rename the series here, okay, you can rename the series here, okay, by edit of, if let's say you did not want to have the series here at all, since you only have one line of depreciation, you can choose to remove. Or if you want to maintain without changing, just leave it as series 1. But it is more presentable if this series 1, okay, be named as depreciation. So click edit and go and read your depreciation expenses title here. Then after that, you can click OK. Then you will find that your series 1 here has been changed to depreciation expenses. Okay, so click OK. Then you will find that your depreciation chart has changed from 1 until 10 until 1 until 10 to 2010 until 2019. to represent the years. And again, your graph or your chart here can be changed with quick layout, okay, where you can have your quick layout setting here, okay. So from quick layout, okay, choose number 10 if you want to have the same axis title being plot in your depreciation graph. But if let's say you would like to have a different layout, okay, you can try to choose another layout setting, okay. Then you can see the different, okay. If let's say you choose 10, your legend is set here. But if you choose another setting, let's say you choose this one, okay, your legend has been brought down here, because for each of those quick layout set, okay, they have give you some design. So for our purpose of ICE 205, we're going to use layout number 10. So again, okay, with this axis title being set here, you can rename the axis title. So this will represent your years, and this will represent your depreciation value. So what you need to do, okay, just click on axis title, then type in. Okay, and push your enter button, and again click for depreciation title, sorry, axis title for vertical side, then type in depreciation amount, okay. So if you want to have some colors change, so you can choose to have quick colors for your chart, okay. But for ICE 205, okay, we are not going to learn on those change colors for our depreciation graph, but you have an option of changing your colors of your line graph here, okay. So now, instead of we put a general depreciation expenses as a chart title, let's change this one to reducing method depreciation. Okay, then you can push your enter button or click in other places so that your reducing method depreciation will be displayed as your chart title. So you just completed to create the two depreciation chart or the two depreciation graph. One under straight line depreciation, okay, and the other one for reducing balance. So you can see the difference. So for straight line depreciation, you have a straight line because you have an identical depreciation expenses amount. But for your reducing method depreciation, you have a line which is a curve slope down, okay, because your depreciation expenses here, okay, reduce from 16,380 to 13,000 to 10,000 to 8,000 until at the end of the year of useful life you have only 2,000. So your depreciation slope, okay, will look like this one because the value is reduced from the starting years until the end of the estimated useful life. So with that class, you just learn to create your depreciation graph. Okay. So lesson 9 give you a schedule of depreciation. with the calculation of depreciation using the built-in function SLN and DB. So DB representing your reducing balance method, SLN representing your straight line method. With the schedule of depreciation, we learn to create depreciation graph. So we have straight line depreciation graph with a plot where you get a fixed line, okay, where you have a different slope for your reducing balance depreciation because you have a curve which is sloped down, okay, reduce in value. So you have a straight line here, you have a slope down line here, and with the two depreciation schedule and two depreciation graph here, we can see the impact of change of some related figure if we apply what if analysis to the worksheet or to the schedule of depreciation here. So let's see the impact of change of any value to apply the word what if analysis. So the work of what if analysis, okay, normally, okay, can be depicted, okay, with the change of depreciation expenses. If you change, let's say, the cost value, okay. So now the reducing balance method came from the machine. So let's say I change the 90,000 here to 190,000. So now my figure change. So when my figure change, okay, here I will have for 2019 I will have 3,000 instead of 2,000 before. So my depreciation value will change, okay. So when my depreciation value change, my plot of depreciation graph also change. Okay, let's say, okay, we go back to the original figure of 90,000, but I change the useful life. Instead of we have 10 years of useful life, I change to 9 years. So I change to 9 years. So now I won't have a figure for 2019. So my depreciation graph, okay, will look differently. For 2019, I won't have figure here. So therefore, my 2018 will be the last point for my depreciation graph. That would be the impact of what if analysis, because what if analysis try to show us the implication if, let's say, you change any information, any figure, any number, any value that affecting your worksheet here. So you just change your estimated useful life to see the effect of, if let's say previously you have 10 years, now you have 9 years, then you can see the difference of your worksheet. Okay, so if you go back to your original figure, okay, you can have the 2009 depreciation. But if you did not have 10 years here, you have only 9 years, so therefore you won't have the 10 here, you won't have the depreciation value here. So that's why the plot of this 2009, okay, is at 0 here. So that would be the what if analysis. So with that, okay, we just completed lesson 9. So hopefully you will remember how to create the graph, how to format the graph, and how to change the setting of your layout graph. So thank you, class. You can save your work.